our system of electing the president is quite unusual. We have our electoral college system where people vote for president in each state, and whoever gets the most votes gets that state's electoral votes. And it's a winner-take-all system in almost all the states, so whoever gets the most votes gets all of the votes. The number of total of electoral votes is determined by the number of representatives, which relates to population, plus 2 for the senators. So like my state of Maryland has 10 electoral votes, and if Barack Obama gets the most votes from the people, he'll get all 10 of those electoral votes, and whoever gets the most electoral votes wins. Well, we actually do have lots of third or minor parties in the United States. They don't tend to get a lot of support for several reasons. First, our parties are really big tent parties. They try and incorporate a range of views. Secondly, when the minor parties have a popular idea, the big parties are inclined to steal it. And we also, because of the electoral system, that if you think about it, if, say, the Republicans split into 2 smaller parties, that would just make it easier for the Democrats to win, because it's a winner-takes-all system. Whoever comes in first tends to win. So it provides an incentive to create a party that can get a majority or close to it. Well, the presidential election uses the Electoral College, but members of Congress are elected by a different system. Our House of Representatives has 435 members allocated to the states based on their population. The states with more than 1 representative are divided into single-member districts, and every 2 years they elect a new member of Congress by the first-past-the-post or winner-take-all system. Whoever gets the most votes becomes that member of Congress. The senators, in contrast, serve for 6-year terms. The senators are always elected at large within the state, but their terms are staggered so that only 1/3 of the Senate is up every 2 years, and no state is electing 2 senators in 1 year. The idea of them having longer terms than the House was to maybe insulate them a bit more from public opinion. Originally, senators were selected by state legislators, so they were selected by the state governments, not by the people. The state legislatures eventually gave up their power to the people, and the Constitution now requires that the people elect the senators, but the idea of longer terms is that they're perhaps more insulated from public opinion. I think the couple major ones. First, the evolution to the secret ballot. Originally, people voted in public. The other major long-term trend has been for expansion of the franchise. Our Constitution after the Civil War made clear that Native Americans and African Americans were citizens of the United States. It wasn't until 1920 that women got the right to vote everywhere in the country with the ratification of the 19th Amendment. The Voting Rights Act in the 1960s, as part of our country's civil rights movement, made sure that African Americans could vote in the South. They're serving a lot of different roles, and I think they're helping keep people involved and informed. The campaigns use them to update people regularly. They use them to fundraise, and they also use them to motivate their supporters by sharing the latest news. They also allow for good democratic process in terms of you get a lot more political commentary from things like blogs, a lot more careful analysis from a whole range of sources, not just the traditional news media. Interesting question. I think a lot of voters had their mind made up before the debates, but the debates can potentially have an important impact. Historically, they usually don't. The impression so far this year, though, is that the race between President Barack Obama and Governor Mitt Romney got a lot closer after the first debate. Whether they've made a difference to the final outcome, only time will tell. I would say both. I think Americans want a strong leader. They want someone who's reasonably empathetic, that they think understands their problems, but they also want someone who is going to take the country in a policy direction of which they approve. So I think they look very carefully both at the people but also at the policies. You know, some people care more about particular issues than others and may feel very passionately and vote on those issues. But, you know, in a democracy, it's ultimately up to the people about why you vote.
The American Embassy has a duty to help American citizens on many different issues. It's our primary function as an embassy. So we work very hard to get out the message to American citizens living in Ethiopia about how they can vote. And any citizen who wants to vote can contact the embassy, check our website, call us, and we'll provide information. The quickest way for them is probably to go to the federal government website, fvap.gov, and that will provide information on a state-by-state basis on what they need to do, because elections are conducted by the states, and it varies a little bit from state to state. But in general, we have a system that allows people who are not in the United States at the time to send their ballot in. So they just need to look at what the timing is and make sure it comes in to their state before the deadline.